Hi everyone, I'm Ebony Mbatani and I'm here to help you shine and prosper. So, what exactly does that mean? Helping you shine and prosper is helping you to excel your vision and propel your goals. And I'm here to help you do that through two methods, one being my master class, which will be coming soon, and the other through tutorials, which will be on my YouTube channel. So, as we progress, I will be here to help you figure out what exactly does it mean for you to shine. What are your passions? What are your goals? If you already have those, some of you might be stuck at the step where, how do I execute that? Where do I go? I have been there. I was on a 2-year journey trying to figure out how to make myself shine and figure out how to exactly turn my vision into a goal. So I will be here to help you turn your vision into a plan, turn your plan into a lifestyle, and your lifestyle into a career. While we are on this journey to turn your vision into a plan, a lifestyle, and career, you will also get a glimpse into my life through my channel as I have my lifestyle vlog going and see how it is that I got to where I am. I'm just starting out, but my expertise is in entrepreneurship. I have a degree in business management as well as entrepreneurship, and I've been in the field for I would say almost over 15 years now. So I decided to turn my passion into my career. Like I mentioned, it took me 2 years to figure out how to get there. So I want to help you get through the process a little bit easier than I did. So I'm here to help you get through the process a little bit smoother than I did by giving you some of the tips and advice that I learned along the way and sharing with you my honest feedback and some of the things that I picked up and learned on how to excel your vision. With me, you will have master classes as well as tutorials, as I mentioned before, that will help you with a program or a 5-step regimen on how to get there. So, step one is I have a 5-step regimen on how to get started. I know some of the biggest obstacles can be, how do I even get started? Where do I begin? What are some of the challenges that I would face and how do I overcome that? Well, I'm here to help you with that process. I'm here to eliminate some of that angst and anxiety of where to go from here, the monotony of being in what I call the hamster wheel of life, and you want to get off the wheel and figure out how to get your goal going. So, if this has intrigued you, if you're ready to shine, if what you hear is something that you're like, okay, I think this is where I want to go, I like what I'm hearing, then there are two ways that you can be involved and that you can follow me and be a part of this journey. One is going to be on my business Facebook page, and that's where I will give you some introductory information on how to get started and things that I will be focusing on for that week or that month to help all of you out there with your vision and your goals. The second way is on my YouTube channel, and there I will go more into depth, and that will be more of a tutorial that you can follow and that you can have your pen and paper ready to go and write down all my tips and advice that I have been true, tried, and that have been applied in real life and that I feel work. I have worked with small business owners for over 15 years. I have been a member of the SBA. I worked for the SBA and the SBDC. So I have a lot of insider information that I know are things that work really well to help people get to where they need to go. My tips will help people that not only want to start something and get their vision going, but it also is for people that are already working in a small business and need to figure out a way to pivot their business and grow the opportunities, but they're just stuck on what to do and how that works. That's where I come into play with all the information that I have to offer. Let's get started. I'm going to go into depth right now about some of the 5 steps that I have that will help you propel your vision and get started if you're just stuck in a rut. I have my notes here. As you can see, this is one of my tips that I really think is going to help you a lot. So some things you need to go over, you need to write down. So if you see me looking down, I'm going to be referring to my notes. I also will have it jotted down here so that you will have time to write down everything that I say. So let's start with step one. Step one is write it down all the time. I will be one that will tell you I'm a professed lazy person when it comes to taking notes and being organized in a form of pen, paper, and writing everything down. I like to think I can keep everything in my head, and some of the ideas I have, I'll remember later. Let me tell you, it doesn't work. You will be so frustrated when you come up with like the best idea in the car, or you'll be somewhere, or you'll see something, or you'll watch something, and then later on you can't remember what it was that you thought of that was just so ingenious. So one thing that I recommend is something that a lot of people use in the advertising industry or the marketing industry, is they write down everything all the time. They also tend to keep a notepad with them if you're old school and you like just the regular pen and paper, which I tend to kind of like. I use my phone a lot too, but there are a lot of apps that you can use. You can use your phone. Most phones have a notebook app that you can use to write things down if you just want to type it up or text it to yourself. To recap, number one is write it down all the time. No matter how small you think the idea is, no matter how insignificant or how big or grandiose, still write it down, because you will need those notes to go back to and refer to when it comes down to my number 4 step, and we're going to get there in a minute. So number 1 is going to end up relating to number 4. All the steps that I have for you all correlate to each other, and you'll see kind of the process and the pattern once we get done. So let's move on. Once you research somebody, then you can customize it to your niche and how things work out for you. So you want to look at what they're doing, but then you want to apply it to yourself and make it your own. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. I'm a big fan of not reinventing the wheel. You do not need to make extra work if you don't have to. It's like that saying goes, you work smarter, not harder, which I am a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in finding ways to work smarter, not harder. Step 3 is setting flexible goals. Okay, so we all know we have to set goals when it comes to something that we want to do, and especially something that's brand new, as if you're trying out a new career or you're trying to start a career or you're already in something that you want to pivot into something else. But what I mean is the key word is flexible. When I say set flexible goals, there will be another video that I'll put up soon about my 2-year journey. So for 2 years, I have been working on starting my own business and trying to turn my vision into a business. And it took 2 years of starting and stopping. And I was just so frustrated. I mean, at one point I was telling my husband, I was like, I think the universe is against me, because every time I think I'm ready to go and I get started, something happens. So my journey took 2 years, but I have to say, it actually was something I was thinking about for 5 years. So in all actionality, it probably was about a 5-year goal. If that gives you some perspective. So don't get frustrated. You want to set goals, but you want to be flexible with yourself. You want to give yourself time to be able to properly execute it. Your time will come, your time will be there, but you can always get started with step 1 and step 2, which is write everything down all the time, research, and then you set flexible goals. Your goal is what you ideally would like to be. It doesn't mean you won't get started. It just means you want to give yourself a timeline so that you also don't get complacent and 5 years pass and you haven't done anything. Life will always get in the way. There will always be something that comes up, but you want to at some point hit that go button and get started. So for me, now is my time. This is my go button. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but the day has arrived and I couldn't be more than happy about it. All right, so that brings us to step 4. Step 4. What is your niche? For the longest, part of the reason I was on a 2-year journey, when I really started narrowing down and writing things down and planning and, figuring out what my vision was I didn't know what my niche was. I was kind of very broad and vague. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I saw other people doing things I wanted to do, but it was just very, very broad. And your niche is going to be more narrow and customized. So you want to figure out what exactly is it that you're offering people. If you're in a small business right now that you want to expand, like what is that small business niche and what are things that you can add to it that will complement what you're already doing? If you're not in a small business already and you're doing like myself and you're trying to get started into something, you have to figure out what's your niche. What is it that you're going to be sharing with other people? What are you going to be sharing with that industry? And how do you customize that down for something that you can offer? And that goes back to step 2. If you're still trying to figure out what your niche is, just research. Follow other people that are doing things that interest you. Look at what other people are doing that are doing things that you're passionate about. You would be surprised at the things that you can create on your own that can turn into your niche. And one other side thing I would say about the niche, don't get discouraged if it feels like your niche might be oversaturated. And I will have a whole nother video about being discouraged and is this market oversaturated? Can I really make it? My quick answer is yes, you can. The long answer, I'll have another tutorial about oversaturation and being worried about is your niche going to work. In the meantime, for step 4, just remember, you need to figure out what your niche is, and writing things down and planning will help you customize and narrow that down. All right, so tip 5. This is the final tip that we're going to go into, and that comes into figuring out what is needed to get started. You will be surprised at some of the things that you'll just figure out that you actually need, especially when you're watching others doing what it is that you want to do, because a lot of times they've been doing it for a while, so they make it look really easy. And once you do research, you'll realize, okay, there's a lot of other little things that I might need, which is why you need flexible goals. It doesn't mean you have to have everything to get started. For example, one thing I'm doing is I'm a lifestyle blogger. The other thing is an international business coach. So those two things for me are very customized, but they mesh in a way that there were certain equipment I needed for my YouTube vlogging, and there are things that I needed to be able to have to offer, like master classes to do my international business coaching. However, it doesn't mean I have everything day one. For example, right now, I'm talking to you all through my phone. Ultimately, I would like to have a really nice Canon camera, which is what a lot of the vloggers use that have been doing it for a while, but they worked up to that. So you have to figure out and make a list of all the things you think you might need to get started to be successful. But then I would make a separate list prioritizing what is it that you have to have on day one, and what are some things you can work up to getting once you're up and going and whatever it is that you want to do. So I have my to list. And that list is going to be down to what is needed now and what is something that can wait, but is a goal to get as you proceed. That was my 5-step tips for this tutorial about how to get ready to shine. Those were my 5 tips for getting yourself ready to shine. So let's recap first. Number 1 was write it down all the time. 2 was research, research, research. 3 was set flexible goals. 4 was what is your niche? And then 5 is what is needed to get started. So now that you have the 5 basic tips on what you need to help yourself shine, to set a plan to put in action. So look for my next video. I will be on a plan to upload every week to go over what it is I have in store for you guys, as well as to follow up and go into more detail about things that we talked about the previous week. 2 things that we're going to talk about going forward. I'm going to go into more detail about number 3 and number 4, which is setting flexible goals and what is your niche, and how that all can work out for you as an individual or for you in a small business. We're going to go into a lot more detail about the flexible goals and about how to figure out your niche, or how to pivot your business into a more defined niche or into a broader niche. So look for that. That's going to be coming soon. That's going to be what's coming up next. Also, my master classes we are working on now for me to start offering. If you want to get on a wait list for those, look for the link below. I will put the link down below on how to sign up for my master classes. Like I said, those are coming soon. If you want to follow me, make sure you follow my business page if you like, but also make sure you like and subscribe to this video. I would love for you all to be on this journey with me. So make sure you click that subscribe and ring that bell so that you know when I upload and when I'm here ready to share my journey with all of you, share my tips, and help you guys shine, because we all have that star inside. Thanks, guys.